guys, welcome back to Your Mindset, Your Power. I am so happy you're here with me today, my friend. And I have to warn you before we start, because today I'm sharing a few funny personal stories about my husband and myself. And I don't think I ever got his approval for this episode. Oops. So, if you're listening right now, babe, it's too late. So, my friend, let me start asking you a question that might either surprise you or make you laugh. Do you have a chair in your bedroom? You know, that chair that isn't actually available for sitting anymore? It is a monument of clothes that are too clean for the laundry basket or too dirty for the closet. My husband has that chair, my friend. And me? Me, if you open my drawers or my closet a little right now, it looks like a tornado went through them. We are both very clean people. I have to clarify that. But we're definitely messy in completely different ways. We all have these little things, right? Maybe your partner leaves the cabinets wide open, or maybe like my husband, one more, babe, they need the TV on 24/7 as background noise, even when they are not even watching it. It used to drive me absolutely crazy. But relationships are complex, and they don't have to be so rigid. So today we're diving into a question that I think every single person in a relationship or even thinking about a future relationship asks themselves at some point. How do we live with another imperfect human without losing our minds? We are going to talk about how to navigate those daily micro triggers, how to pick your battles, and how to stop trying to fix your partner and start protecting your own peace instead. So grab a coffee, my friend, get comfortable. Let's talk about how to stop turning every daily annoyance into a problem and how to handle these crazy daily moments with a little more humor and a lot less resentment. So, how do we actually handle this without turning our homes into a battlefield? First, we need to accept something I like to call the Flaw Law. The Flaw Law is simple. Every person comes with a few things that will drive you crazy. And so do you, my friend. Think of your relationship like moving into a gorgeous historic home. It has beautiful hardwood floors, amazing character, and it's exactly where you want to live. But it also has that one creaky floorboard in the hallway. Every time you step on it, it makes a sound. Now, are you going to tear down the whole house over one small squeaky noise? Of course not, right? You just learn where to step or you accept the noise as part of your house background noise. In relationships, that chair or my exploded drawers, those are just creaky floorboards. Because let's be real, nobody gets to be the normal one in a marriage or in a relationship, right? We all are a bit messy in our unique ways. Maybe for your partner, it's also leaving the toothpaste cap off or dropping wet towels on the bathroom floor. And it absolutely goes both ways, my friend. If I'm being completely honest here, I have so many annoying things. And I have one more for me as well. I have this awful habit of leaving the refrigerator door wide open. Sounds familiar, my friend? It used to drive my husband completely crazy. But over time, our refrigerator actually stopped making that little warning beep when it's left open. So now my husband tells everyone that the fridge literally gave up on me. He'll say, why should that fridge even bother to beep if she's just going to ignore it? The battery probably died out of sheer exhaustion. And let me tell you, after years of marriage, I've realized something so important. The things that drive us crazy about our partners are usually balanced by the things that drive them crazy about us. Every long-term relationship eventually becomes a negotiation between quirks, not flaws, my friend, quirks. So let me give you the first survival tool, a 5-year rule. Before you let that micro trigger turn into a macro fight, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, let it go. Laugh at it, and tell yourself, yep, there's that creaky floorboard again, and move on, my friend. Now, what about the things that don't just annoy you, but actually drain your energy? And I know I already mentioned it, but like my husband needing the TV on 24/7. For a long time, I thought my only options were to fight about it or sit there and suffer. But here's the second shift we need to make. Stop trying to change their lifelong habits and start insulating your own peace instead, my friend. Think about it like bad weather. If it's pouring rain outside and you need to go out, you don't stand on the porch and screaming at the clouds to stop dropping water, right? You go inside, grab an umbrella, or put on a raincoat. You protect yourself from the rain. So that's what I started doing. Instead of starting a nonstop argument or constantly complaining about the TV on, I changed my environment. So now I go outside for a peaceful walk, or I put my headphones and I go to another room or outside. And let me tell you, the second that he steps out of the door for, to leave for work or to run an errand, I press that power button. And I just take a deep breath in absolute silence. So here goes the second survival tool, my friend, the umbrella strategy. When a partner's habit triggers you, ask, what is my umbrella here? How can I remove myself from the trigger and create a boundary that protects my energy without demanding that they completely change who they are? And here's where it gets really funny, or more funnier, my friend. I've noticed that when I say less and show more through my actions, my husband actually picks up on things so much better. Why? Because I've noticed that when I become more patient, my husband becomes more patient too. If you model patience, it's kind of like with your kids. If you model patience, they start showing more patience with the things about you that drives them crazy. Because let me tell you, I didn't become organized overnight in some areas. I just evolved from one stream to another. This is another story, personal story. For years, I carried a purse so big that finding my keys required a search and rescue mission. My husband will go crazy every time he would look at me trying to find something there. He called it the Bermuda Triangle because things went in and were never seen again. And now I've solved the problem, my friend. And I went to the other extreme. I know. Now I carry a purse so small that if I add one more extra lipstick, it becomes overweight baggage. And here's a hilarious little confession for you. My husband listens to this podcast faithfully, and I love that. And then I realized that he actually listens to me way better when I'm talking to you and to him through these episodes than if I say some of those things directly to his face. Whatever works, right? I'm happy. Listen, the truth is, when we confront our partners head on, their natural defense mechanism go up. But I've learned that people learn more from what we consistently do than from what we repeatedly tell them to do. All right, let's leave the jokes aside for a moment, my friend, because this brings me to one of the biggest lessons I've learned, both through my own marriage and through coaching. Not every annoyance deserves a battle, right? Some things deserve a conversation. Some deserve a compromise. And some just deserve a sense of humor. The real challenge is knowing the difference. Because here's what happens. So many people stay quiet about the little things until they become big things. They don't say anything for so long, and then 6 months later, they explode. But they are no longer upset about the original issue. No, now they are carrying deep resentment. That's why healthy communication matters. Not criticism, not blame, communication. There is a massive difference between saying, "You always do this," and saying, "Can we talk about something that's been bothering me?" One invites defensiveness, right? The other invites connection. Sometimes changing our response is easier than changing the other person. And honestly, sometimes it's way more effective too. So that brings us to the survival tool number 3, my friend, the side door approach. Stop coming through the front door with a list of complaints and "you always do that" statement. That triggers defensiveness, right? Come through the side door instead. Lead by example. Choose connection over criticism. And keep the vibe playful. Let your actions and your own mindset shifts do the heavy lifting, my friend. Now, let's get real here, because when we first meet someone, what do we focus on? We focus on their smile, their personality, their kindness, and their sense of humor, right? 29 years later, in my case, we're discussing refrigerator doors, television volume, chairs full of clothes, and purses that function as alternate universes. Yeah, and yet the reason we can laugh about those things is because they are sitting on top of something much bigger. Love, friendship, respect, a shared history, and thousands of good moments. That's why I didn't think the title of this episode should have been "How to Stop Fighting with Your Partner." No, it had to be "How do we live with another imperfect human without losing our minds?" It's about how to stop turning every single annoyance into a huge problem. Because sometimes the healthiest, most powerful thought you can have is, "Yes, this annoys me. No, it doesn't need to ruin my day." That is such a massive mindset lesson, my friend. So, before we go about your day, let's do a quick mental check-in of your relationship survival kit, my friend. Let's go to the first one. Check the floorboards. Remember that nobody is the normal one. We all have annoying habits, right? But ask yourself, is it a deal breaker or is it just a quirky creed in a house you love? Let's go to the tool number 2. Grab your umbrella. Stop fighting the weather. If a habit drains you, find a creative way to insulate your own peace. And the third one, use the side door. Say less, show more, and counterbalance the daily things that are annoying by intentionally remembering exactly why you fell in love with them in the first place. My friend, at the end of the day, a happy relationship isn't a perfect one. It's a flexible one. It's about choosing to focus on the whole person, not just the habits that annoy you. Because remember the flaw law we talked about earlier? What you focus on grows. If we are constantly focused on someone else's imperfections, our brain starts filtering out all the reason we love them in the first place. You don't need a flawless partner to have a beautiful life, my friend. You just need a strategy, a little more grace, and a healthy dose of humor. And maybe one of the most powerful mindset shifts we can make is this. This bothers me, but it doesn't need to become bigger than the love we have built. Because not every irritation deserves our attention. Not every frustration deserves our energy. And not every annoyance deserves a front row seat in our relationship. So if you're struggling with a micro trigger today, take a deep breath, my friend. Laugh at it if you can. Choose grace over perfection. Choose connection over criticism. And remember that some things are simply too small to become bigger than the people we love. You have the power to change the energy in your home simply by shifting your mindset. Thank you for spending this time with me today, my dear friend. And if this episode brought a smile to your face, send it to someone who could use a reminder that love doesn't need perfection. It just needs a little bit more patience, humor, and heart. And remember, your mindset is not just what you think. It's where your power begins. Have an amazing week, my dear friend. I love you guys.